This podcast is brought to you in part by P&P Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast. This is episode number 154. We're recording this one on Thursday, November 7th, 2013. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison. And joining me this week, not Stephen Munn, as your lower third says, Will. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just noticed that. I'm like, look down. I'm like, that's not right. I forgot to change that. So let me change it right now. Will, how the hell are you?
I am doing pretty good, Lloyd. Pretty good. I'm just recovering, like I'm sure you are, with a little bit of touch gaming action.
Yeah. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we are. I think your lower third has been fixed. Yeah. As I said when you first jumped on Skype, it's like I haven't talked to you for 25 hours in a while. It's been a few days since we last talked for 25 hours. In fact,
it has, and I hope tonight's not starting 25 hours because I have work in the morning. So
yeah, me too.
Oh, okay, good.
So definitely it'll be less than 25 hours, guaranteed less than 25 hours.
Well, the good news, we're still talking to each other, and that's after we talked to each other for 25 hours. So,
how sore are you right now?
I'm doing okay. I've kind of recovered now, but those first couple days is definitely feeling pretty rough.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So yeah, we did the Extra Life for charity. We raised a whole huge chunk of money, like $1,700 between our all the members on our team, which is huge. That's going to help a huge pile of kids out there.
It's actually 2,600.
Sorry, that's right, because we didn't add on the other stuff. Or no, that was sorry, that's right. Not 2,600. I keep saying 1,700. That is not wrong. So yeah, or that is not right. So $2,600, over $2,600 for kids. It's gonna help a whole lot of children out there that are sick and need some help at children's hospitals everywhere. And so we played a game for 25 hours straight. One game. Everybody else I know that did Extra Life had like a dozen games, and they would switch between them when they got tired. We didn't have that luxury. We played Disney Infinity, only Disney Infinity, for 25 hours. It was pretty ridiculous, man.
It was. It was a good thing we have such dashing personalities to keep us entertained. I mean, Infinity's a great game and everything, but any game for 25 straight hours.
Yeah, I never thought. Oh, Canon Shane just joined the chat room. He actually joined us for part of the live stream. He was hanging out in the channel because I was live streaming my video. We were live streaming as a team. He actually bought the game after watching that. So I guess we did a good job, at least convincing at least one more person that Disney Infinity was fun to play.
Absolutely.
But yeah, as I was saying, like I never thought that playing something for a whole day would be that difficult, and it was. But we had a lot of jokes. We had a gentleman from Australia on our team, so he ended up talking about all the gross things he eats and all the deadly creatures. So that was there was a lot of laughs to be had there, and then we just started making jokes at everybody's expense, and we got pretty giddy there for a while. It was fun, and then we didn't like each other for about an hour there. Everybody sort of just went super quiet. No one said 2 words. It was just like this weird kind of wave that we went through. And then at the end, we were all super happy again. And we watched a movie together while playing. It was so awesome. I can't wait to do this again next year. I had so much fun.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. And it was, like you said, it was interesting going through those highs and lows, those peaks and valleys throughout the event. And seriously, though, it is kind of funny because we all are still having a good time and joking it by the end of it. And if we were going to get sick and tired of each other, then that probably wouldn't have happened. So it's
totally
mission accomplished there.
Totally. I have 2 strong memories from the event. The first one is watching the time change happen. So I'm watching the clock in my basement, and it was at 2:59. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's time change this week. And it's like 2:59, huh? And then click, 2:00 again. I'm like, no, it's like Groundhog Day. It's like I woke up as Bill Murray or something. It was horrible. And then right around 5:00, the real time or the old time. So it was like 4:00 after the time change time. I went upstairs because I was just so tired. And I got a Red Bull, and then I came downstairs, and I was just like, I'm never going to even finish this. I'm so tired. And I like shotgunned a whole like big Red Bull, and like 10 minutes later, I could just feel my eyes widen, and like I could, if I could you feel your pupils dilate? Because I'm sure I felt my pupils dilate, and I'm just like, all right, let's go. I'm ready to go. I feel better. Let's do this. And I got like a 3-hour burst of energy. So that was a lot of fun. It was good. It was, the whole thing was a lot of fun, man.
It was, yeah, and I don't know if you know this, Lloyd, but they're actually taking donations all the way up until December 31st
That's
of
right.
this year. So people can still donate if you want. We've actually even gotten, I think, 2 donations after the fact, which is kind of surprising and awesome.
Nice. That is really awesome. So yeah, I'm going to keep up vgpodcast.com/extra-life for a long time. So if you want to check out what we did, that'll take you right over to my Extra Life page. You can click Team Inside Disney Infinity right at the top, and that'll take you to our team page, which shows all the team members and the team totals and everything. And check it out. If you missed us and you wanna donate, please feel free to do it. Otherwise, put a mark on your calendar about 360 days from today, and be sure to join us next year while we do this again for another 24 hours this time, not 25, of insanity. It was,
hopefully, yeah. Looks like we might have a new team member. Cannon Shane is saying he might be tempted to join us next year as well.
That's right. Well, you're from Australia, and we have another Australian, so you guys can collaborate on what would be the optimum time for you two to start playing together, and then join us. But yeah, we started at 3 p.m, which is like 9 p.m. your time or 10 p.m. your time. So, or is it 11 p.m.?
No, is
it 11? Is it 7 hours? Really?
Yeah, it was 7 a.m. their time, I think.
Is that because I thought it was about 11 hours time difference.
I don't know.
Whatever. Doesn't really matter. It was ridiculous, but it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, Extra Life was fun, and that was also the reason why last week's show was done so early. We're doing this on the normal Thursday recording time. So, we see we get into it, man.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
All right, Will, what have you been playing?
Well, it's been a crazy busy week for gaming for me. Normally, honestly, I don't play this much touch gaming, but there's a couple things I wanted to try out before the show. Where's My Mickey is the first one, and that's something I'm coming back to. Lloyd, it's funny because I'm not much of a puzzle game guy, which kind of stinks because touch gaming has so many puzzle games.
That's most of everything is all puzzle games.
Right? Yeah. So, but one puzzle game I really enjoyed was Where's My Water, and then also the spin-off of that of Where's My Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
But they just released some new levels. They updated the app, and they're free levels, and so I wanted to get in there and play those, and so I did that. That was kind of fun. It's each one of those new levels is themed to one of their new Mickey cartoons, and so it's kind of neat to see that connection.
Very cool.
The other game I was playing was Dead Trigger 2. Have you played this one yet?
I haven't.
Not that new, I don't think. I mean, I think it's like a couple weeks old.
Yeah, I think it might have even come out this week. I remember playing the original when it came out. I haven't downloaded, even though it's free to download, right?
Yeah, it's completely free to download.
So,
and
yeah, I might have to do that, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Well, and it's my initial, I haven't spent too much time in it, but my initial thoughts is the free-to-play model in this one, the paywall, I've yet to hit it, really. So, and I played, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes to an hour of it, just kind of on and off. The graphics are amazing on that game, though.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
Just like the first one, it's definitely one of those games if you want to show off to your friends how iOS is turning into console-quality games.
Yeah.
That's one to do it.
So I was going to say the original Dead Trigger came out on the Ouya as well, and I checked it out there, and it actually looked better on my iPad, which is kind of scary. So
really,
yeah.
So you have an Ouya?
I do have an Ouya.
I've come this close to getting it more than once.
I would not recommend it. I would say save the $100 and burn it. Yeah, you'd probably have more fun watching the bills go up in flames.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a cool system. I'm glad I own one, like because I didn't have to wonder like, oh, would I play this more if I had one? Would I play it a lot? I played it a bit, but yeah, I just all the games that are decent, except for like one or two or three, are all ones that I could just play on my iPad or on some other gaming platform. And it's the controller for the Ouya is just horrible. So it's not even that much fun to play it on my television. So I'm hoping that the iOS controllers will fix a lot of that for me.
Yeah, well, and that would be the only benefit, right? Is playing with the controller. But if it sucks, then might as well play on your iPad.
Yeah, I mean it's not a comfortable controller. It looks like it was put together by like a kid in his basement as a science project. Like it's not cool. But again, it was $100 game system. So what do you expect? You can't expect much more than that, I guess.
Exactly.
Cool.
Well, the other game, I know it's a game that you've been playing as well. Tiny Death Star came out last night, I guess, technically. I just picked it up this morning and I've been playing it all day, and I'm digging it. I mean, obviously it's I like Nimblebit games. And
did you play a lot of Tiny Tower?
I did not. No, that
Okay.
and oddly enough, I didn't really like it too much. I've liked Pocket Trains and I loved Pocket Planes. I just couldn't get into Tiny Tower, and I know this is essentially the same thing, but you sprinkle a little Star Wars on anything and it makes it better, right?
Yep.
Which is cool because I think I'm giving it more of a chance than I did the first one, and so far I'm having a blast with it. I mean, we're a day in, but it's fun, and I love the 8-bit Star Wars music.
It's
just
great.
A blast.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it almost has like a even elevator music kind of tone to it or melody.
Yeah. I think that's the point. If you played the original one, they always had these like weird little elevator music things. So I wondered what they would do when they said announced. And it's elevator music Star Wars themes. It's just brilliant.
That's awesome.
Really, really well done. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Tiny Tower. Back when it first came out, I mean, I played it up until there was no more floors to buy, no more characters to get. And then they added a bunch of content, and I never got into it as much. My wife actually, she was the person that would have every single floor filled with people working their dream job with number 9 in that dream job. Like she scraped every little bit of gameplay out of that game as possible. So I told her about it, and she's like, yeah, I should probably stay away. And I'm like, yeah, maybe you should actually, now that I think about it. I downloaded it today as well and been playing it, and I would actually play it right now, except my phone died because I played it so much today. This is the first time my iPhone 5 has died in a day before charging it. So I'm kind of bummed because I wanted to like do my stuff while we're podcasting so I could play around and show it off, but I guess I can't even do that. It is really fun. It's Tiny Tower with a Star Wars theme, like a Star Wars skin. Ironically enough, this is the first Disney published Star Wars thing. So the first Star Wars game that is published since Disney bought Star Wars. So that is kind of a weird little trivia item there. And it's essentially the Tiny Tower. It's free to play. You can pretty much play the game as much as you want without paying for it, or you could buy money to make things go a bit easier. And what they've done with this game to make it different is instead of just having your residential and then your 4 different types of floors, like commercial, commercial, food, recreation, and something else. They've added a imperial floor, and if you buy one of those, it creates some dastardly thing that you have to staff with VIPs to do something. So the one that I got was an interrogation room. So did you get the interrogation room as well?
I did,
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was just what they gave everybody, if it was a random thing that they would do. And it's really neat. So you go into the negative floor, so you go into the basement, and then you put all these like these evil dark side floors. So in the interrogation room, you have to send people to extract data from the rebellion, and once you get an X number of data, you can complete the missions that they give you, and depending on how many floors you have in the Imperial side, they'll give you different missions, and you have to do different combinations of things. The really cool thing is all the real Star Wars characters are in it. Well, obviously it's not the real Star Wars characters, but it's 8-bit caricatures of them. So it said after you beat your mission on extracting the 3 bits of rebel data, it says if or be on the lookout for this rebel scum, and it's a picture of 8-bit Princess Leia, and if you find her, bring her here so we can extract data from her. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then later in the game, Princess Leia showed up in the elevator, and I'm like, huh, I wonder. So I took her down to the interrogation room, and sure enough, it plays this little animation of her getting interrogated and electrocuted, and then she runs away. And it actually unlocked a movie that you can replay now, because they've added little movies and little shorts into the game, where if you take certain characters at certain floors, like I took a Gungan to some cafe, just like in the movie where Jar Jar ate the frog and caused all these problems. Well, that little animation played out, and then a bunch of stuff happened. So there's going to be all these little hidden things that you can find in the game as well. So it's not just Tiny Tower with a Star Wars skin. They've added more to it, which is enough, along with the Star Wars geekery of it, to make me want to sit there and play it again. So huge fan. We'll see if I'm a huge fan in a week's time or if it's going to kind of grow old, but I'm really kind of digging it.
Yeah, I really like those special tidbits, like you're saying, and it adds that element of collectability and
Yep.
having those special, I don't know what they're called, but you can go into the album and check out new species. Like I unlocked a Ewok and
Yep.
recognizable aliens and stuff like that. So it's cool.
I just don't know why Ewoks would shop in the Death Star. I think they would be really scared of everything to do with the Empire, but I'll suspend my disbelief for a little bit while I play this game.
You'll let it slide.
Yeah, a little bit. Cool. So anything else you've been playing?
Well, not really. I just wanted to, and you almost didn't let me on the show because of this, but I wanted to let you know that I got the iPad Air.
Oh, you're breaking up, Will. Sorry.
This thing screams, Lloyd. That's all I wanted to say. And I mentioned the Toy Box app in here because that's something we've talked about that link with not being very playable. It's almost like it's been built for this iPad.
No, don't say that.
I know the frame rate. That's what I was gonna say earlier. I was like the only Disney Infinity I've been playing was on my new Mini or my new Air, because it screams on here. It loads quicker. I know it's not this way. I think it's just kind of rose-colored glasses, but it almost seems like the textures are a little bit higher resolution. So
I really want one. You're evil.
I'm sorry.
The thing that makes me sad is I have an iPad 3 here that I'm holding in my hands. Your iPad Air is clocked at 4 times the speed of this thing. This is 2 years old, and your iPad is 4 times faster. That is ridiculous growth. I don't know of any time in computing where you could buy a product and then 2 years later buy a product that is 4 times as fast. So that is nuts.
Well, and that's why I was so curious, because the 3, as you know, is somewhat known to be kind of
tough to program for.
Yes, there you go. And I knew coming from it to this, it would be a huge leap. I wasn't sure how big of a leap. I was on the fence. I was like, should I just wait until next year where there's going to be Touch ID? Mm-hmm. I just pulled the trigger, and it's pretty fast. So
I want to like you. I want to wait till I want Touch ID. I want all the other features that are going to come, because this was a nice kind of, like, we're going to put this new processor in it and we're going to make it thinner, but I'm waiting for like some really great new features, but 4 times faster.
Right? I mean, that makes it a little easier to justify.
It totally does. Yeah. I'll have to see. Cool. So yeah, you could play in your nice fast iPad with your Toy Box app, and I'll continue to curse about how slow and unplayable it is. That's fine.
It's so light. It's like I'm playing midair.
That's probably why they named it. I never put 2 and 2 together. Will, thank you. Cool. So you're liking it? You're liking it, by the way?
I'm digging it. Yeah, I love it. But it's funny because I did not realize how quickly I'd become accustomed to the Touch ID. Every time I unlock this stupid thing, I instinctually put my thumb on it to try to unlock it, and obviously that doesn't work. And so I'm like, curse you, Apple! It's working.
I don't have an iPhone
So
5S, so I'm not there yet. I'm sure I would be a lot. I'd probably be really angry if it didn't have it if I had a 5S.
yeah.
So maybe that's not so bad. Maybe I can live with it. Cool. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what I've been playing. Besides Tiny Death Star, I've still been playing Paint It Back, which is the game I reviewed last week. It is so much fun. I bought the last of the maps or the missions rather that I hadn't bought before. It is probably my favorite Picross game that didn't come from Nintendo.
Wow.
It is so much fun. If you haven't checked it out already, I highly recommend it. It just keeps getting better. As I said in my review, I've only bought just a little bit over half of the content that was available. I've been slowly buying it here, there, pack at a time. I'm almost near the end now, and it just keeps getting better. So even though I gave it a really high review last week, it's playing more of it didn't make it worse. It if anything, it made it better. So do check it out. Paint It Back is on the App Store. And I've also been playing a little bit more of Device 6, which is that game I talked about a couple weeks ago, where you're reading and listening, and you have to do things like turn your iPad all around and scroll things different ways. I really dig it. It's just really awkward to play because you are flipping everything all over. So there's only like certain times that I can play it. I can't just like whip it out and play for 10 minutes. I have to basically say, okay, I'm going to play this game. And then I sit in a comfortable chair, not one that I'm going to spend 25 hours in, and play it in such a way that I do have the freedom to rotate my iPad and do different things and really focus on the audio. So I think this is one I'm going to be playing for a while, and not kind of racing to the finish, because it is a lot of fun, and still been playing that one. But that's about it. Like you, Will, I kind of was tired of video games after playing for 25 hours straight, and I've been playing less for myself and basically just playing with my kids. So
Nice.
Skylander Swap Force and Disney Infinity, we've been doing some of that, and that's been a lot of fun. And unfortunately, that's about it, except for Tiny Death Star, which kind of really brought me back to iOS gaming. So that's kind of cool.
Well, that's definitely one of those bite-sized games that you can just pick up and run through your task that you have and then move on. So
Exactly.
I am really interested in Device 6, though. I love these types of games, and I might have to pick this one up. But it's good to know that I might only be able to play it in privacy.
Yeah, alone, so no one else can look at you and laugh.
Yeah.
Essentially, is what you're probably going to be doing.
Well, I remember playing what was it? One of the I can't think of the name, but one of those flight sims, the popular ones on iOS. And I remember playing it on the train once, and I'm like holding my iPad up and like steering, and then I like realize what I'm doing and look around, and half the train is staring at me. I'm like, yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yeah,
So don't want that again.
Let's pause it and let's put it back in the bag and pretend nothing happened. Yeah, I was the same way. I was playing games on the bus, and I would kind of turn to the side and play a little bit in a super uncomfortable way and kind of make sure no one's staring at me. But then it was like really awkward because every time the bus would jump or hit a bump or stop, I would screw up my controls, and it's just like, okay, I'm not playing on the bus anymore. Thankfully, I don't have to ride the bus too much anymore. But it's just, yeah, there's definitely a lot of people are watching me kind of thoughts that pop into my head when I play iOS games in public. So definitely Device 6 would be one of those games, because you're turning it all over the place to do this stuff. But it's a really fun game, so definitely encourage you to check it out. All right, moving on. Let's get into the meat of the show. So some notable releases. Tiny Death Star. We already talked at length about it, so we don't really have to mention it anymore. A big release that came out this week is Lego Lord of the Rings. So this is the Lord of the Rings game from Lego that came on pretty much every single console a couple years ago. The game is available for $5, just like all the other Lego games on iOS. I own them all, and they're all really, really good. And I've actually never played Lego Lord of the Rings on any console. It's the one one I missed. Like I didn't buy it when it first came out, and I've always been waiting for it to drop in price. And I just when it did, maybe I didn't see it or whatever. But I'm gonna pick this up and I'm gonna play it on the iPad because it's a lot of fun. Maybe on a new iPad Air. Maybe.
There you go.
But yeah, a lot of fun. Available for $5.
And that was one of those stealth releases, wasn't it? No,
Yeah. It came out. It wasn't. It didn't come out in like the Australia area, New Zealand area first. It just kind of showed up, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is out. This is a good game. I would like to have talked about this earlier." But yeah, it's out and it's available, and it's $5, which is a steal. So do check that one out. All right, and last but not least, Terraria finally got a multiplayer patch added in. So that's available as a free update. So if you want to play Terraria multiplayer, you can do that now. It's only local multiplayer though. It's not online multiplayer, which really limits a lot of what people want to do. I've rarely ever played multiplayer Wi-Fi with anybody that wasn't like my wife in the same house. Like I've never got together with buds and say, "Hey, let's play Asphalt 6 Racing," and then sit there and both do the air steering thing, because that would be even more awkward. So I don't think I'm going to ever take advantage of this. I'm really looking forward to the kind of online, real, true multiplayer stuff. Hopefully that patch will come at some point, but it's kind of neat they're moving in that direction, because there was no announcement that multiplayer was a definite possibility for this game. It was always like, "Hey, yeah, maybe," but this shows that it's more than a yeah maybe. It's available. Maybe they'll take it a step further and do the online stuff, which would be really, really cool.
Yeah, hopefully it's just their kind of way of soft launching it and
Yeah,
getting out all the multiplayer bugs and then
totally
releasing it.
I truly hope so. I have a feeling that they're not going to go that way, but I'm holding my breath and hoping that sure enough this will happen at some point, because I'd love to play Terraria with some of my friends that play it a lot on the PC and also played on iOS, because they would probably be better than me and I could steal all their stuff, and that would be fun. All right, man, let's move into the news. First up is more of just a public service announcement, but it's also kind of cool at the same time. And the first of the next gen companion games have come out. There's been some companion games for some other stuff, but this is the first for a true next gen title. So Knack is available on iOS, and it is a companion game to the PlayStation 4 launch title called Knack. And this basically allows you to, it's called Knack's Quest actually on the phone, and it's called Knack on the PlayStation 4. And it's a free game, and it's a match 3 puzzle game that you can play for free. And as you level up in this game, you unlock things that if you buy Knack on your PlayStation 4, you'll be able to sync that progress up. So you can actually do some of the grinding on your phone while you're not on your console, and then upload some of that functionality back to the full console release. So pretty cool. Knack already has some features where, I mean, it's going to support the full PlayStation 4 to Vita crossplay stuff. So you can actually play it on your Vita while you're in the house with your PlayStation 4. So it's going to support all that type of stuff. But this takes it one step further, that allows you to be out of the house on a different device entirely and doing some stuff that will allow you to get further ahead, I guess, in the game. So yeah, check it out. Knack's Quest. Are you interested in these types of things? Do you like the kind of like companion app that comes out on iOS?
I love it. I think it's a really great way to stay connected to the game.
Yeah, it keeps it in your mind at all times because you're always on your device.
Yeah, and I really like the ones that aren't just like a something just to throw out there for promotion. I like the ones that are connected. I mean, I think last time we were on the show, we talked about Arkham or the new Batman, the new Batman one, and I can't, with next gen, I think so much of that is going to be the second screen experience, and so I really can't wait to see what developers release and sure, yeah. Skylanders is a perfect example, right?
Well, Skylanders is a bunch of apps that kind of go along with the thing, and this is the app that they just released for Swap Force. It's just a map app, and it totally makes sense. Like, I want to go to Mudwater Hollow and I want to know where the soul gem is, and then I can kind of zoom in on the map and pinch and zoom, and it's like, oh, that's where the soul gem is. These apps are great. Unfortunately, the map apps are never free. So
Oh, really?
this was $3, which is cheaper than going and buying a Prima guide or something like that.
Yeah.
But it just makes sense to have something to use while you're playing the game on something else. It totally like validates the Wii U as an idea of having a second screen while you're gaming. Obviously, without having to buy a new console.
It really kind of came to light to me how effective this idea could be was last year when Forza Horizon came out. So Forza is an arcade racer on 360, and like many racers, it's an open world racer. So like many of those, there's an in-game GPS. Well, the cool thing was you could bring up the second screen app on your iPad, and I could literally zoom out on the map. I could pick where I want the GPS location to be. I click on that, and then it would change, my arrow and my route there on
Nice.
On the console, and those are just cool. And I know that gameplay interaction between console and second screen, I think is going to be big this next gen. But for now, I know you're probably salivating like I am for the PS4, and just having something to kind of know that when I'm playing this game will help increase the real game is fun.
Yeah, I like looking at Watch Dogs and the stuff that's going to be doable on the second screen app, where you can actually interact with console players while not on a console. And there's some other apps that have been talked about like that. That is so exciting. And I guess the Knack is kind of one of the first kind of, we're going to do this in the next gen, although it's similar to other apps that already exist for current gen stuff. But I guess it's little baby steps for a lot of developers. They don't want to go like both feet into the ocean. They want to just kind of dip their toe in a little bit.
Oh.
But it's there. Check it out. Knack Quest is available now for free. So if you like match 3 puzzle games, maybe it'll be enough to kind of get you away from some of the other games you're playing, like Candy Crush or whatever, some of the other more evil ones that people love to hate. Speaking of love to hate, this made the rounds this week. I do not like this, and I'm kind of really angry that this exists. This is a plugin. A developer made a plugin called Icominer, and it costs developers £80, and it is a plugin to Unity. And basically, what happens is you make a game in Unity, and then you add this plugin, and then you configure this plugin, and while a unsuspecting host is playing the game that you developed and added to the App Store, is playing your game, this plugin is running a Bitcoin mining operation using the extra resources that are in your device. So you're selling someone a game or giving it, or you're getting a game for free or buying a game, and the developers aren't happy with that amount of money, so they're using extra resources on your device to mine Bitcoins for them, so they make more money, but you don't get anything other than a dead battery, because like Bitcoin mining is incredibly processor intensive. That's why people buy $20,000 worth of video cards and put them in a rack in a closet with super cooling, and basically use that to mine Bitcoins because it takes a lot of resources. So this plugin exists, and we're going to get games in the future that will basically suck up your battery without you even knowing, because they're going to have this thing running in the background. I don't know. I don't like that.
I don't either. I can't imagine that getting through once it's kind of discovered, getting through Apple's approval process.
Yeah, like I mean, it's not doing anything malicious. So I don't know if maybe Apple's gonna do something like, if you have this, you're gonna have to tell people up front that it contains Icominer support, because I just can't see Apple being too happy with someone playing a game for 2 hours and their iPad battery is dead, and it's like, hey, this is supposed to last 11 hours. What's wrong with you, Apple? I mean, running this is pretty much going to sap any extra resources that you have. It's pretty scary. Scary. But yeah, this is coming out. It's $80, so it's out. People are downloading it. I guess time will tell whether something like this will actually come to the App Store. You can pretty much guarantee that it's going to come to Android, though, because it's an open world and people can do whatever they want on Android without any sort of overseeing, like watchdog group. I'm not sure if it's going to come to iOS. I hope not. If it does, I'm going to be very careful at selecting games that do not support it, because not that I don't want to see developers get paid, but I'd rather just pay them for the game instead of having them steal resources from my phone to get paid.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I guess I might be a little more okay with it if it's a free game and it's very explicitly noted as this is going to happen in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm paying for it, especially, it's like price it accordingly. Price it what you want it.
I don't mind paying $10 for a game if it's good. Like, you don't have to give me a free game and then in-app purchase me to death. But yeah, like if you're a developer and you put this in your game, I will not buy it or I will not download it for free. I just don't want this running on my device.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Cool. All right, moving on. This is actually really exciting for me. I'm a huge fan of the franchise. Sony announced, or I guess not Sony, Insomniac Games announced that they are going to be bringing Ratchet and Clank to mobile platforms. I'm a huge Ratchet and Clank fan. In fact, I bought my PlayStation 3 for the new Ratchet and Clank game when it first came out, and I will do the same for the PlayStation 4. I will, if I don't already own a PS4 at that time, I will buy one just to play that game. I love the franchise. Earlier this month, they basically said that we're going to be coming out with a companion game for the new Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus, which will be out on basically it'll be coming out on PS3. Or that's right, it's a PS3 game, not a PS4 game. It'll be coming out in the middle of this month. So right around that time, this game is going to be coming to mobile. They didn't say what mobile means, but usually that means iOS and Android. I hope it's both. And basically what this is going to be is an auto runner, so behind the back auto runner, set in the Ratchet and Clank universe with guns and weapons of various sorts, not just guns, and you shooting things, collecting bolts, and upgrading yourself. I don't want anything else from a Ratchet and Clank mobile game except for maybe a full-fledged Ratchet and Clank game on my iPad, but that's probably asking a little much from Insomniac. I'm hugely stoked about this. I hope more developers do this, release companion games that aren't related to the game, but just little awesome experiences on another platform, kind of like the Rayman Run game that came for iOS, which was a lot of fun. I didn't need to have the whole Rayman Legends on my iPad. That little distraction was good enough for me for $3. But I'm hugely excited about this. How about you, Will? Are you a Ratchet and Clank fan?
I'm not against Ratchet and Clank. I just unfortunately never played any games. I've played some demos, but that said, it's always looked interesting, and the characters look really interesting. I just never played it, but I'm like you. I'm for anything that enhances the property, and you can't really go wrong with an endless runner if you like that genre.
Yeah, and this is cool because as you play the game and earn bolts and raritonium, or raritanium, I guess, you can actually upload some of that precious resource to the full console game. So you can actually level yourself up in the console a little bit quicker by doing some of the grinding, similar to Knack, but this is current gen, not next gen. So how about that? Take that, PlayStation. Insomniac can do it on the current gen stuff. They don't need the PS4.
Needs that.
But I'm really excited for the next any Ratchet and Clank game. But Into the Nexus looks really good. And this is called Before the Nexus. So I guess this is kind of a prequel to the console game. So hopefully this comes out next week. If it does, I will be playing it, and you will be hearing about it, and the world will be all right for me, I guess, is what I'll say. All right, moving on. This week, a whole bunch of, I guess, pre-Christmas or pre-holiday PR stuff went out. The first one being this new device. It's basically an iOS controlled remote control car. So like remote control cars have existed forever. And iOS based devices that or iOS controlled devices have been out for a while as well. But this is, I think, the first one that kind of blends the two. It's by Griffin, and it's called the Moto TC Rally Bluetooth 4.0 RC car. So it is a Bluetooth 4.0, so low power, kind of a Bluetooth controlled remote control car that you can control right from an iOS app. Sounds fun to me. I don't know. I don't know about you. Do you like remote control vehicles, Will?
Absolutely, yeah. And I've never really gotten any for the closest thing I've wanted for iOS is the quadcopter, the really expensive one.
Yeah.
My stepdad actually got that last year for Christmas, and I just watched him play with it, and that was miserable. But yeah, this honestly, I read the headline on this. I didn't read the article, but it seemed, because there's been tons of these, right? So something has to be different about this one to make it kind of a bigger deal. And sure.
I guess the big difference with this one is that it is it's controlled via Bluetooth, so it's not this weird crazy transceiver you have to plug into your device. It's not some other weird sort of control like Wi-Fi hotspots or whatever. It's an actual like Bluetooth device, and it's this tiny little car. It looks really cool. Awesome. I kind of really want to get this from my son now, but it's $100, and they need the $200 to $500 device to control it. So I'm less inclined to want to do that when I can go buy a $25 or $50 remote control car. But this is really cool. I've seen a lot of like remote control helicopters, remote control tanks, the missile launchers that you control from your iPhone. That's kind of that kind of proves that this platform is here to stay when a company will release something that will only work with your like platform.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe that this one will actually work on Android either. I think it just works on iOS. So I mean that's pretty crazy.
The Bluetooth low energy, I think that's a big deal too. I mean, obviously for your phone because it's going to drain battery less, but for the radios in the car itself, these things tend to not have the longest of battery life.
Sure.
So I think that would be really beneficial for it.
Yeah, Bluetooth low energy. I mean, when the new, we'll talk about the new Pebble release that's coming right away. Do you have a Pebble? No,
I wanted one so bad, and I still really want one, but I'm like, the iWatch, I know it's coming at some point.
For some reason, I thought you had one. But basically, when iOS 7 came out, my battery life on my Pebble went up by like 3 extra days.
Seriously?
So yeah, my Pebble would last 4 days, and then iOS 7 came out, and even without the new app that we'll talk about in a second, my watch life went to a full week or more, like maybe 10 or 11 days. It works really good. So the Bluetooth low energy, even though it wasn't fully implemented on the version of the app that I had, it still used a heck of a lot less energy. And yeah, I mean, it just sips at power. It doesn't suck it like most like wireless communication does. So I'm super excited, and it totally makes sense for something like a remote control car. Mm-hmm. But it even makes more sense moving into our next story. Pebble just announced that SDK 2.0 was coming out. So as a developer, I made my own watch face. I made a Winnipeg Jets watch face, and it was a lot of fun to program this little watch face and do it. They've added this crazy functionality in 2.0 where I can have it my watch face can do internet calls through the Pebble app. I can access the accelerometer real time. I can do GPS from the phone in real time. All this really crazy stuff. So basically what's going to happen is anytime now there's going to be the Pebble app 2.0, which is going to enable iOS 7 support. So you can have notifications from any app, not just messages and email and other weird ones that you would just get from time to time. You can actually individually go into the Pebble app and say, I want to get notifications from Tiny Death Star and Foursquare and this other one, but not anything else, which is going to be huge. It's similar to what you can do on Android now, so it kind of brings feature parity, which is nice. But there's going to be a new SDK available, so I can just imagine that in the coming months, there's going to be some really amazing iOS apps that are going to tie directly into my Pebble, which makes me smile and makes me kind of giddy. They showed off a couple different apps during their presentation, and one that I'll definitely use is there's going to be a Foursquare app that will run on your wrist. So you walk into a place, you hit the button, it checks you into Foursquare based on your location because it ties right into your phone. And it's
That's awesome.
That is the promise of what this Pebble was when I kickstarted it like a year and a half ago for $300 because I got two of them because I'm crazy and my wife wanted one, which is really weird to me because I didn't think she would be into that type of stuff. The full features are really coming, and the best feature is that this app and the phone and the watch rather are going to be using Bluetooth for low energy. So iOS 7 gave me some battery life. I can just imagine, or I can't imagine how much better it's going to be once this full release comes out. And it's really just going to be using Bluetooth LE, no normal Bluetooth radio from my phone or from my watch. My battery life on my phone is going to go up. Maybe I could still be playing Tiny Death Star right now because of that. And also I'm going to get a little bit more battery life potentially on my wrist, plus all this other cool functionality. First thing I'm going to do is update my watch to have the weather on it because I want to try that out. And I can do that now with the SDK 2.0. So really cool stuff. If you're one of the... Oh, no, I don't want to play that. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. I accidentally moused over a Flash ad. Don't you love that? For the, I don't know, tens of to hundreds of thousands of people that have a Pebble watch, this is going to be big news. Where this is really going to be big news is what Pebble is doing now is kind of laying the groundwork for what Apple is going to do in 6 months, a year, 3 months, next week. Who knows when Apple's going to do this? But when the iWatch comes out, it's going to be taking all these great ideas that everybody else is doing, plus all the game-changing stuff that Apple always is thinking 10 years in the future and kind of put it into something else. So when the Pebble takes a leap, that is a leap for the whole industry. And it gives Samsung something else to copy because their watch stuff was pretty terrible. So now they can copy Pebble, and that'll be good for Samsung because they like doing that.
Oh.
So anyway, huge update to all the Pebblers out there that have a Pebble watch. And I've actually heard from some of you listeners who downloaded my watch face, even though you don't like hockey. And you're like, yeah, I'm rocking your Winnipeg Jets logo watch face. And everybody asks me what it is because no one knows what hockey is down here. So I always smile when that happens. So thanks to everybody that's downloaded it and checked it out. All right, man, that's going to about do it. Let's get into reviews. Do you want to start?
Sure, I'll
let you do it.
I can go first. So the game I'm going to review, I checked my stats today, and it said that it came out, I think, originally about a year ago, which doesn't seem right to me. I thought it was less than that. But the app I'm going to review is Star Command, and this is a game. When thinking about the review, I was trying to figure out how to categorize it. It's an action game with strategy elements to it and some management as well. And the gist of it is basically you are a starship captain. In the vein of you can definitely see the inspiration. They took a lot from Star Trek with red shirts as being tactical officers and blue shirts and yellow shirts for engineers and medical, and then you have the captain. It's a really neat game, and so what you do is basically you manage the ship, and it has, Lloyd, I know you're a retro guy, and one of the things I love about this game is that it's kind of 16-bit graphics, and The entire game is presented as such. Even the cutscenes are that way. And let me see. I'll go and get started, but it's just really interesting because you make decisions about your ship, and you manage your ship and your crew, and you can assign different crew members to different rooms, and the resources that the game uses are these coins, and you get a coin for either medical, tactical, or engineering, and then you have a universal coin. I was really hoping I could show you my ship name because for all you geeks out there, my ship is called Serenity. Um, so this is, let's see if you can get this up. This is what it looks like. And you can see that, like, these are all my crew members right here. And they're really cool, kind of 16-bit graphics. And you can zoom out and you can see all the different rooms here. And then if you zoom out more, you can see the ship. And it's just a lot of fun. There's lots of action in this game. It's one of those games that really it tests your ability to be agile with your fingers because and during the action sequences there's lots of different things going on at once across the screen, and at times it almost reminds me of a real-time strategy game because you have to kind of point and click all over the place to um, uh, attend to threats, because threats come in a few different ways. You have threats in the form of ships that you're battling and you're shooting at. You have threats in the form of enemies teleporting onto your ship, and then you have to remove uh, maybe a tactical officer from the plasma torpedoes just so they can fire at the enemy that have boarded your ship. And then if they start to take damage, you might have to remove a medical officer from the medical bay to go heal your tactical officer. And so there's just lots of different things going on at any given time. This game started off as a Kickstarter game, and it was one of those games. It was one of those stories where unfortunately it was delayed for quite some time, and it kept being delayed. And when it finally did ship, it shipped without features that were promised. And the reason I'm reviewing it now, even though it's kind of an older game, is that they released a new update and it added new missions and some new features to it, which is kind of cool. Some things I really like about the game is just how complex it is. There's so many different things you can do, and there's lots of different things to manage, and you can customize your crew members. You can name them different things, and you get to customize your ship, and that's really cool. It's a pretty linear experience, which on the one hand I do really enjoy because it allows you to get through a story, and the story is pretty good. It has some science fiction tropes. It has some interesting aspects of the story that I really dug. But like I said, it's linear, and so you don't really get that exploring feel. There's a little bit of exploring that you can do, but for the most part, the story goes start to finish. But it does have quite a lot of replayability, which is awesome. And that's one thing that I loved about it to begin with, but they even increased the replayability with this new update. So once you complete the game, the storyline, you essentially can restart the story. I haven't beat the game again since the new missions and after the update, but initially, when you restarted the game after you completed it, you get a bigger ship, which allows you to get more rooms and more crew members, and so you get to go through it again. But it changes the experience because the more rooms you have and the more crew members you have, the more action that is really taking place. And so those are a couple things I really love. The other thing I really love about this game, and it might sound kind of morbid, but it has permadeath in the game. So anytime one of your crew members dies, they are gone for good, and your hull can be breached, and your crew members can get sucked out the side. And if that happens, there's little that you can do for them because they are gone in the nethers of space. Um, so yeah, I dig that, and that's why it's fun. Like I had to be very careful with my Serenity crew members, like Jane and the shepherd and Kaylee. I didn't want them to get sucked out, so I would kind of keep them in the back of the action. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really fun game, and it was well worth the price. It's $3 now, and I think when I got it, it was either 5 or 6. Um, that was a bargain at the time, and the developers have consistently said that this is a project that they're going to support for a long time. It's multi-platform, and their development process is pretty interesting. How they're going to roll out those updates, and it just goes to show that that is true now with this new update. So I was thinking about the score, Lloyd, and I think that I'm going to have to give this a 5.5 or a 5 out of 5. And the reason I say that is because, especially with this new update, there's nothing I would change. There's no features that I would like that are missing. And after this update, it now cloud saves, so I can play it on my iPad and pick it up right back on my iPhone, and it's just as manageable on the small screen as it is the big screen. It's just a fun all around game, and it's unique. I'm kind of a sci-fi nerd, and so it allows me to kind of fulfill that need when I'm out and about. So,
Nice.
yeah, 5 out of 5.
Cool. Well, thanks for that, Will. I played it as well. This is one of the ones that I always wished I would have kickstarted it. And then I didn't kickstart the first campaign. And then they came out with a second campaign because they needed funds to finish the first version and then start work on the PC version. Then it's like, wait a second, maybe I shouldn't give you my money. And then sure enough, the game eventually did come out. I was worried that maybe it wouldn't come out ever. That's not the case. And I played this, and it was like the first release of it was just ridiculously hard, where it didn't really explain much of anything to you. And the next thing you know, you'd be dead, or you'd be, like you said, flying out into space, and your ship would be on fire, and you was like, what am I going to do? What do I do to fix this? I know they've done a lot of patches. I have to dig it back out again and try it again and see if I dig it as much as you. But I won't name my stuff after a Joss Whedon. So I'm sorry. I'll let you have that, Will. I don't want to take any of the wind out of your sail.
Okay, all right.
All right.
You can do Star Wars or something.
Sure, yeah, I'll do that. I'll figure something out. All right, moving on. Let's get into my review. I'm going to review a game that I picked up just kind of at a whim. I was browsing the what's new on the App Store pane of the App Shopper app, and I saw this game called Deadly Bullet, and it was free. And the reason why I jumped on it is because it looked kind of like Hotline Miami, which was this like ultra-violent top-down shooter kind of game that came out on PC and PlayStation 3, and it's on Vita. And so I saw the screenshot, and I downloaded it because it was free, and the screenshot looked good. And what I got was a game that wasn't anything like what I thought it would be, which is probably a good thing, because it's different and unique and even kind of better than some of the experience that I've had with Hotline Miami, which is fun. I enjoy the game, but this is just a weird game. So it's called Deadly Bullet, and you are in fact a bullet. You play a bullet in this game, and you basically have to fly around the environment, and you have to kill X number of enemies in the environment. And you do that by, if you touch the left-hand side of the screen, you rotate your flight path left. If you touch the right, you rotate it right. And you basically fly through all of the enemies in a world, avoiding things like cars and buildings. And as you unlock some of the other levels, things like pillars in like a, I don't know, parking garage or something. And that is the entirety of the game. You're flying, you are killing people, trying to avoid dying, because apparently you can die as a bullet by hitting a building. And that's it. The game starts with you in the world, flying straight. And you basically do what you have to do, kill people, whatever. If you hit a building or some other obstacle, you die and respawn, and you do that 3 times. Every play that you go through the game, you gain experience, because apparently bullets need experience points in this game. And then you use the experience points to level up. When you level up, you get an upgrade point, and you use the upgrade point to upgrade and do things like increase the length of your special attacks that you pick up randomly, or you can use them to unlock two other missions or two other, I guess, levels. So you start with just the normal level, but you can unlock storage or suburbs. There's also things that you can do to unlock more item slots, because during the levels there'll be these little flashing pickups, and you want to maybe have more to hold more of these power-ups, or there's a double XP thing. The thing that really surprised me about this game is it's free and there's no in-app purchases. There's no way that I can hit buy and buy points. It is a completely 100% free game, which confuses me greatly, because I don't know what they're doing to make money, other than maybe they just want to release a cool game. So that is, yeah. Sorry, you had a question?
No, that's just interesting.
Yeah, it's like maybe they're setting it up for something. Like maybe they're adding some other modes in the future. But I've unlocked all the achievements because there's only 4 of them, and I've unlocked all the levels, and I'm continuing to upgrade my bullets. But that's the game, and it's free, and it's not terrible. It's actually a lot of fun flying through a city as a bullet and killing people. The really one of the weird things is this game's already been, I think it's been patched once at least, because what happens now is when you respawn, the first release of the game, when you respawn, you'd have to kill all the enemies over again. So if you're in a level where you had to kill 10 enemies and you killed 9 and then died, you'd have to kill those 9 over again and kill all 10 enemies, which was kind of annoying, but it was also kind of cool because you could get a hell of a lot of experience if you could just wait for the enemies to be close together, because you get kind of combo bonuses by killing multiple enemies in quick succession. But you could basically just kind of milk the first couple levels and level up like crazy, and then work at unlocking some of the things and going further. That's gone, and they've also made it so when an enemy shoots you, they can't kill you with their bullets, because you are a bullet. They can kill you with missiles and landmines, apparently, because a landmine blows up bullets in this weird world. I don't get it, but I didn't write the fiction for it, and I'm not going to. But if an enemy shoots you now, it kind of randomly directs your bullet in different directions. So you could be flying towards someone and they pull out their machine gun and start shooting you, and then you get like targeted towards a building. So they made it kind of harder to progress, but I guess it's a little bit more enjoyable now, because it was a little bit boring when I first downloaded it. But I've been playing it a lot over the last few days, and I've leveled up a whole pile of times. I'm still having fun, even though there's only 3 levels, and it's just one of those like really quick pick up, play 5 minutes, make a bunch of people splatter all over the pavement, as they do in this game, and your bullet keeps on traveling through the world. And it's just this like really weird game that is fun to play, but I kind of wonder why it exists. Like, is it something else that, like, is there another game coming from the same developer, and this is just kind of a hey, look at us kind of thing, or is it really just like an experience that they just wanted to release for free so people could play it? Anyway, I'll let you guys make up your own mind on that.
Let's be honest, they're probably mining bitcoins in the background.
That's why it kills my battery in 5 minutes. You've solved the problem, Will. It actually is a Unity game, so maybe that is what they're doing. Interesting. No, I don't think they're doing that. But yeah, it's just so bizarre, but so much fun and really simple, but enjoyable. So that is Deadly Bullet. As I said, it's available for free. You just go download it and have fun with it and check it out. I give it a 4 out of 5, just because I have to give it a score, and it's like, it's fun for what it is, and it didn't cost me a penny, and I've enjoyed my playthrough with it. So do check it out. Deadly Bullet, 4 out of 5, free on the App Store.
Free with no paywall. That's a win-win.
Yeah, I don't understand. Will, explain it to me. Tell me what these people are doing. These crazy developers. It's actually a developer, Tommy Celasti. If you look at their iTunes page, and yeah, he just calls it a high octane top down arcade game where you control a single bullet, take out bad guys, and use that special power up to boost your game. But yeah, that's it. It's fun. It's a good game, so do check it out, Deadly Bullet. All right, man. Well, that was a good show. Thanks for joining me again this week, Will.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, Jared was he's been like tied up with work lately, so it's not that he doesn't want to be here, it's just that he can't be here. So hopefully he'll be back next week, so you can hear what Jared's been playing, all 10,000 games probably by now, because he plays a lot of games.
Yes, he does.
But Will, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you normally when not guest hosting on this podcast?
Well, when I'm not here, I run the Inside Infinity podcast, and you can find that on iTunes at Inside Infinity, or our website, InsideDisneyInfinity.com. And Lloyd's been gracious enough to join us there once, but he's going to be coming back, and he was part of the podcast team. So it's obviously a Disney Infinity focused podcast, and it's a lot of fun. We just run down the rumors and news, and yeah, I think last time actually Lloyd and I were on, we reviewed the latest playset, which was a blast. So make sure you go back and check that out. The next couple weeks, for those that are interested in the game, we're going to be running a few developer interviews, which we're really excited about. We had one this past week, and we have a few more lined up, which is a lot of fun and lots of cool, interesting things to learn about the game there. So check it out.
Cool. All right. So when you're not downloading and listening to all the episodes of Inside Disney Infinity, let us know what you think of this show. Head on over to vgpodcast.com. Or actually, you can head on over to vgpodcast.com and download Inside Infinity as well, because you are a member of the podcast network, Will.
Yes.
That is the first non-my hosted. Wow. Apparently it's too late. Non-hosted by me show that has been added to the network. So that's really awesome. And I do thank you for joining up and becoming part of VG Podcasts. That's really cool.
Absolutely. Thank you.
But if you're not listening to that show, we want to know what you think of this show or any of the other shows we do on the network. Head on over to vgpodcast.com. You can click contact at the top of the page to send us an email. You can email us directly. That email is vgpodcasts@gmail.com, or you can call our voicemail line at area code 505 VG Podcasts. Actually, we're not sure if it works anymore, so why don't you call it and leave a message and say, at the end, it's working. I might be trying to trick you to leave in voicemail, but I really don't know if it's working. So you guys should go do that, like right now. Go check it out. All right. If you enjoy the show, if I could ask you guys to tell 2 friends about it, just send them email. Say, hey, listen to this cool thing on your ear pod things in your ears over at vgpodcast.com. And they can listen to us as well. And take in the joy that is the Touch of Gaming podcast. That was a terrible sales job, man.
I thought it was awesome.
I need to work on that. Ear holes, really? Ear hole thing, my pods, my jigs. I got to work on this.
Well, I thought you were going to like kind of swing it back into like, touch devices and ear hole things.
Yeah. Clean the earwax out of your earbuds and go to this website. No, see, that just get worse. That's not better. That is way worse, man.
I think you're right. It is just getting too late.
Yeah, maybe we should close the show off. What do you think?
Maybe.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned next week when Jared's going to be back with 17 reviews. You heard it here first. He's going to kill me when he hears this. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll talk to you in about a week's time. Later, everybody. And my computer is muted. There we go.